Hi, my name's Joe Miller, and in this past application cycle, 100% of my students who applied to IE were made offers. In this video, I'm going to share some generic strategies for students who are currently at school and thinking about applying to IE for an undergraduate degree. So this is a course like the Bachelor's in Business Administration, the BBA. It's worth noting that IE is an exceptional business school in Europe. In fact, the Financial Times ranked it within the top 10 business schools across Europe last year. It has a relatively high success rate. Year on year, it's around 35 to 40%, but it has a very uniquely long applications process. And therefore, it's really important that you prepare early and you take on board what I'm going to tell you, because otherwise the IE admissions process can take a lot of your valuable studying time in year 13 or the equivalent final year of study that you're currently in. My first tip when applying to IE for an undergraduate course is to get in touch with their admissions team early. The best way to do this is usually by email. They do go out and visit some schools, and you can also attend some events, information events with them and with your parents. The reason it's so important to get in touch with them early is so that you've got a point of contact on the inside. Because the admissions process to IE is so long and there is so much going on, whether it be the admissions test that you're sitting or your predicted grades and references at school, or the CV you have to write, or the personal statement / reflection, express yourself that you have to write, or the Kira Talent, or the in-person interview. There are so many areas where things might not go as planned, or you might be delayed because of exams or mocks at school. And therefore, it's really important to have somebody on the inside that you can email, that you can go to if there's an issue, that you can ask to inform the admissions committee of something for you. Please do this. It's best to do it at the beginning rather than later on when something bad actually does happen. My second generic strategy is to make you aware that IE asks all students to complete their test. Now, if you're a student that sat the SAT, perhaps because you're applying to a university in the US, then you can actually get a waiver for the IE test and submit your SAT score instead. IE do not look for a particularly high score in this test, and it typically doesn't take a huge amount of preparation. However, my advice is to do this early. Lots of candidates begin the application process and they leave the test until the end. And at this point, it might be after Christmas and they're already preparing for their A-level or IB exams or equivalent, and it can become a real burden. My advice is do the preparation in the summer before your final year at school and sit this test early in the academic year. My third generic strategy is to take real care when it comes to writing your CV. Lots of students who are at school have never written a CV before. You might not even know what a CV is. In fact, we've done a separate video on how to write a good CV. Please do look at that if you want more information. Typically, your CV is going to have a few sections, starting with your education, and then any internship or work experience you might have. For a school student, this might just be an insight or even a part-time job. We then want some of your positions of leadership or responsibility, and then any other extracurricular activities, skills, achievements, languages that you might speak, and so on at the bottom. This document should be no more than 1 page long, and it should be submitted as a PDF. Try not to have lots of plain blank white space on this page. I tell all of my students, keep every bullet 1 line, no longer, and pack this with past tense action verbs, numbers, statistics, names, and so on. Nowadays, with lots of students using AI tools like ChatGPT, lots of their CVs are very generic. They're quite dull, and it's very easy to tell when they've not put that effort in. I would really urge you to take care with your CV. It's a really important piece of information that the admissions team at IE use. I would urge you to take real care when putting together your CV. It's an important piece of information that the IE admissions team use to judge you on. But also, if you get to that final round in-person interview, they're likely to have it printed out in front of them, and it's therefore going to guide that interview. It's really important you take extra care when writing this CV. Not only is it an important document that they judge your application on, but if you are fortunate enough to get through to the final stage interview with a person, they're likely to have it printed out in front of them and ask you questions about it. The better it is, the easier that interview will be. My fourth tip concerns the express yourself statement that you would write. Now for IE, you can think of this as equivalent to a personal statement at a different university. The statement varies in length. The maximum number of words is 650, and you shouldn't really go over this. I think you should typically aim to write around about 1 page. Please also bear in mind, you can complete the express yourself using different mediums. You can also build a PowerPoint presentation of up to 10 slides or put together a short video. Most students, however, prefer to write a statement. In my experience, IE has no preference over any of them, but IE does look for some very important, easy to identify features of the express yourself that you should really bear in mind. These are that they want it to be personal, it should be written in the first person, and it should be a reflection on you. But more importantly, scratch beneath the surface. Why are IE asking you to complete this? They're not asking you to just write a story about yourself or tell them something about yourself that's random. They want you to show your skills through this statement. So for example, if you use the prompt, tell us about a time when you faced a challenge or a setback and how you've overcome this. Don't just tell IE about a challenge or a setback. Talk about the skills, reflect on what you learnt, link this to maybe some internships that you've done or some extracurricular activities you've done at school and how you then use those skills and that learning curve to improve. This is your personal statement. This is your opportunity to talk about what's good about your profile and show off your knowledge of the IE course. My fifth and final tip for final year students at school applying to an undergraduate course at IE is to really take time preparing for your interview. For most of you, you've probably never done an interview before. And if you have, it's probably not going to be like the interview at IE. IE is unique in that you're interviewed twice. You're interviewed via a video interview using the online Kira talent system. There's more information about that in another video that we've filmed, so please check that out for more. The final stage of the IE application process is then an in-person interview with somebody from IE University. Because of how many interviews you're going to complete, it's really important that you prepare properly. As I've alluded to previously in other videos, I divide interview preparation into 6 important categories, and it's really important for IE that you're well versed in all of them. Ultimately, IE is a great business school with a uniquely long application process. Please don't be one of those students that leaves it to the last minute or lets it really take over your final year at school. That final year should be for studying and mastering your A-level, IB or equivalent exams, not applying to IE. Therefore, start early, get in touch with them for guidance, and make sure that you are mastering each stage of the application process that I've outlined in this video. As always, if you found this video useful, please do like and subscribe. If you have any pressing questions, please leave a comment below and we'll do our best to get back to you quickly. If you or any of your friends want one-to-one support, please do use the information on screen now so that we can find a tutor suitable for you. Otherwise, good luck with your applications.